Welcome to Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go. A look at modern and retro games with a dark sense of humor. Introducing your hosts, Steve.
Well, I'm a wreck now.
Harry.
Put it in my mouth.
Clark.
That man had one testicle and hit home runs, goddammit.
And Joe.
This went off the rails very quickly.
Let's start the show.
Welcome back to another episode of Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go! Joining us tonight, we have, across from me, Harry.
Ooh, tonight we're going to talk about how to spot if your man is mold.
That's gross.
Also sitting across from me, Joe.
I'm the best.
All right, and also across from me, Steve.
Miss me, now I gotta kill ya.
And I'll be your host tonight, Clark. Nothing like fresh American ground beef.
Grade A, motherfucker.
Grade A. So, if you could not guess from our little quips there, tonight we will be reviewing Resident Evil 8 Village.
Village. All the babushkas.
But first, a word from our sponsor.
Who's that, Clark?
It's Deep Creek Glassworks.
Since 2013, Deep Creek Glassworks
Steve's got
has been making handcrafted, durable works of art out of glass for everyone to enjoy. You want some wine glasses? They got it. You want some ornaments? They got it. You want some figurines?
You got it.
They got it. You want an octopus that can hold a couple pens and some business cards
No.
at the same time?
What?
Well, why not?
Oh.
What?
I mean, yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, guess what? Deep Creek Glassworks has you covered.
Good. I'm more of a squid guy, though.
All right, well, you can make a goddamn squid for you. For fuck's sake, Harry. You know why? Because if
For
you
fuck's
ask
squid.
them, it's like, hey, can you make this? Tanner's going to take a look at it and be like, we could probably make this work.
If you've got a fickle bitch in your life like Harry, Tanner's got you covered.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's the way it is. He's getting all set up in his new shop, and you can go visit them on Deep Creek Glassworks, spelled WORX.
WORX.
.com. Oh, works.
So that's Deep Creek Glassworks.
Crush
Yeah.
resistant boxes. Free
Yeah,
shipping.
and if,
promo code super fun.
Go check them out, because if you use our promo code SUPERFUN, you will get 10% off of your first order, and everything is shipped in crush-resistant boxes for free! It's free! Free shipping, motherfuckers. I mean, it's great. So go support small business. Put some fucking quality into your life and order something from Deep Creek Glassworks.
Get some glass for that ass.
Get it?
Not literally, though.
Not literally.
That sounded
No.
really good in my ear when we all said free at the same time.
It did. Yeah, it seemed like it harmonized a little
It
bit.
felt good.
Stop doing that, Steve.
My bad. No, I liked it. But yeah, go check out Deep Creek Glassworks. Works is spelled WORX. Today. In check.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to initial impressions. Does anyone want to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Obviously knew about this game. Resident Evil is a huge franchise. Played a few of them in the past. This one, like when it came out, I saw a few things about it, mostly about Lady Dimitrescu, just because there was so many memes and shit. But outside of that, I did nothing else about the game going into it.
Yeah, Reddit had a fucking field day with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will follow up on that. Just heard about a new Resident Evil game coming out, and then Lady Dimitrescu appeared, and then I found the Rule 34 when it came to her, and I found about some new kinks that I never knew about before, but I was gung-ho when they're like, oh, we're going to play Village. I'm like, cool, I get to see more. Let's do
Big
this.
bitches.
Choke me, daddy.
Okay, lady.
What about you, Harry?
So I'm a huge fan of Resident Evil. I never got through. So I think it's I've seen a pattern with the Resident Evil games. They come in sets of 3. So I expect this is the second of the third. I think, and I have a very. We're going to talk about this later.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Yeah, and
So
I think it was done 23 years ago already.
So we're going to get Village, an extra L.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it was a clear pattern with like the first 3 games and then the next 3 games, and now this is the second of like the next set. It feels like the one previous to this, I tried playing in VR. Combination of just sweating bullets and getting really nauseous made that experience pretty awful.
And you were like, I can't even go back and play with a controller now because I'm just like sick.
That demo was fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
It was
I played that at your house.
Hamels.
No, it was at your. I never went to Hamels for that. Like, you must have had the demo. Either that or Harry had it. I just remember being
Harry's.
I just remember being fucking terrified. I'm like, ooh, no.
I only got a PSVR like a year ago.
Oh, okay.
I got way too motion sick for that shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
After like 3 minutes, I was like, oh, I can't do this.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a shame. I was.
It's the refresh rate on the PSVR. It's just terrible.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I think it's something to do with like the moving, but your body is still stationary.
The screen refresh rate isn't fast enough.
Well, if
Like,
you watch
It's
it,
actually the PS4 that has the issue. Even the PS4 Pro has less of that, and then the PS5's been really great with that.
just watch enough VR porn and you'll be okay.
I don't know. I'll try to get back into VR a couple generations later because I really was really excited about that concept. This one wasn't in VR though, was it?
No, it was not.
No.
Okay.
It was not offered because it was more actiony.
Okay. Got it. So yeah, that's my experience. I saw a lot of videos online, a lot of the Let's Plays, and it'd be in the segment in the castle running from the big bitch. That's.
So to be clear, you never went back and finished Biohazard?
I did not.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I think I got about 6 hours in.
Okay.
Was Biohazard 7?
Yeah.
Okay. I only asked because I am so far removed from the actual story of Resident Evil that it's just like...
It resets every trilogy. They kind of go with like a new thing.
Yeah,
every 3.
And it feels like they just kind of throw like, here's a familiar name.
Cameo
so
or
it's
whatever.
like, yeah, that kind of like, oh, I remember them from like 4 games ago. And that...
Well, the first 6 really are packed with all of the familiar characters. 7 was a step away.
Okay.
And there's a cameo at the end of it in the last cutscene that makes it feel really special.
Huh.
Almost kind of how it is in this
I
a
was
little
gonna
bit.
say, that sounds a little familiar.
There's a little more in this than there was in 7 at the
Okay.
end. I was just going to touch on that briefly in the story just because I didn't know who knew what, so it might,
Okay.
pique more interest into it.
I
You
must
get
have
through your
bridge.
initial impressions first, and then
Yeah. So my initial impressions were actually and I brought this game to the table. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, that looks incredible. Like, it looks really good. I really liked like the art design and stuff out of it. And it was before they had released Dimitrescu. Yeah. It was before all of her stuff came out.
Okay.
It was like the initial trailer where it was just like the werewolves and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But the werewolves,
Those
to
fucking
me-
lichens, man.
I was like, I don't know if I want to play this one at all. I was like, it's such a far cry from my zombie games that I loved from when I was a
Right.
kid
Yeah.
that I just don't know if I wanted to go down that rabbit hole of like, okay, here's
That's fair.
lichens. Like, I didn't like that aspect of 4 where they weren't really zombies. They were some weird fucking mutants, and it just continued, and I had to accept it eventually to continue playing the series, really.
Yeah.
So I eventually came around to the idea, and I saw it was starting to go on sale frequently, and I was like, okay, if I'm going to play this, I need actual motivation to play it, so I'm going to bring it to the podcast, and that's how we're here now about to discuss it.
Yeah. Plus, if you present this to the 3 of us and like, oh, Resident Evil, it's on sale and it has, good backing. Why not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
you know, we don't shy away from bad or obscure games on this podcast whatsoever. So,
We've run the gamut on everything.
Destroy
yeah.
humans.
So, you know,
Hey, fuck you, Joe.
I figured
hated that game.
good, bad,
I know
or
you did.
otherwise, I thought it would be a good game to bring to this.
Yeah.
So, is anyone else, everyone ready to dive into development?
Yeah.
Game development.
I was doing some research on the development, and I actually found something that was like very, very interesting. They started designing 8 6 months before 7 came out. They
Really?
yeah, which is really unlike Capcom. They knew that they wanted to do another game, so they just started building off of the engine, and they had some soft design ideas, and that was it. So as soon as 7 came out and was a critical success, they moved fully into the direct sequel mode, having loved Ethan Winter's character and wanting to give him an emotional and touching end. They knew from the get-go that they wanted Ethan Winters to be done.
Do you know when Ethan was introduced? Like in the
7. He is
he
is the original main character of 7.
F7? Oh,
Yes.
wow.
And he
Okay.
is just brought in for 7.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, I could see that.
And I personally think that if they were aiming for an emotional and touching end, they nailed it with him. But they took a more balanced approach to action and horror, whereas 7 was more focused on horror, with you walking through the Baker house and trying to survive and figure out what's going on with them with the introduction of the mold. Now, in 7, that's where the mold is introduced. And I'm going to do this before we dive into the story.
So that way, at least it's like between like for myself, it's like the Resident Evil I know is the virus, and then once we started getting into like this game, and they're like, oh, the mold. I'm like, oh, this transformed entirely.
Yeah, there's like all the viruses of the first 6 games. Like it all is around like the T virus, G virus,
Yeah.
the Las Plagas virus. I forget what they call
But
that.
it's
in
pretty
4,
much all
yeah.
viruses rather than like
An actual like mold, like
A living
organic
being-
thing
yeah.
that there's, you know,
Yeah.
Basically, just to before we dive into the story, do you guys have anything for development?
No.
no. I mean, this is
Okay.
all you, man.
So before we dive into story, I want to give a little pretext, just for anyone that doesn't know that hasn't played 7. So there is going to be spoilers for 7.
Hello.
If not, just skip a minute in the podcast, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to just try to keep this really short. Ethan goes to the Baker house. He's following up on like lost videotapes that was found. He encounters the mold, and he figures out that like the Baker family is all completely fucking turned from this. He deals with the Baker family trying to rescue Mia. Mia is also indoctrinated with the mold and kind of has like this weird double in 7. And at the end, he fights like this giant mold monster, and Chris comes to save him from this giant mold monster. And Chris shows up in an umbrella helicopter, but it's a blue insignia instead of a red insignia.
Oh,
And that's like Chris's reveal. So, with that said, it is safe now if you're hearing my voice. Let's move into the story, and we're only going to cover 8.
Story.
Ethan and Mia, with their newborn daughter, Rose, are living in Eastern Europe after relocation following the events of Resident Evil 7 3 years prior. The house is raided by Chris Redfield and Houndwolf Squad as they assassinate Mia and abduct Ethan and Rose. During transit, the truck crashes, which sets up the main story. Ethan awakens in a terrifying village where his goal is to rescue Rose and escape. After some searching, Ethan is knocked out and brought before the 4 lords of the land, the children of Mother Miranda. The lords serve as 4 trials, and at the end of each, a piece of Rose is recovered in vials labeled after different body parts. The body parts are being used in a ceremony by Miranda to bring back her dead daughter, who was lost before Miranda was immortal. At the end of Heisenberg's factory, the last lord, Ethan finally confronts Miranda and loses his life. Enter Chris Redfield on a mission to destroy the parasite Miranda is using to take over the village, the Metamycel. Chris makes the discovery that Mia is in fact alive, and it's revealed that Chris was attempting to kill Miranda, who can shapeshift, when he killed Mia in the beginning. Mia tells Chris that she doesn't understand Ethan's abilities. Re-enter Ethan, back in his moldy form to have a final confrontation with Miranda and rescue his daughter. In the end, the fight and revelation that he is a mold monster is too much for Ethan, and he sacrifices himself so that Mia, Rose, and Chris may escape and live on. After the credits, some years later, a grown-up Rose is seen placing flowers on Ethan's grave and getting into a black SUV in what seems like her new role in a Stars/Houndwolf/BCAA squad role.
That's
So, why is Zuckerberg the Minimisel?
what?
Seems to be immortal. Pretty villainous.
Oh, God. Okay.
Fucking meta.
Oh my god. No.
So I kind of cruised through like the basic overarching story, but I left a lot to speak about.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
honestly, the way you described it seemed like a meth-fueled daytime soap opera,
yeah,
but not in a bad way.
I covered a lot of the drama of what was going on in this.
Yeah, with not playing Seven, like going into this, like, all right, I'm going to take this story for as it is, and then it goes in. It's like, oh, here's my wife, here's my baby. Oh, my wife just got shot in the head fucking 8 times. Where'd my baby go?
By long-loved character.
Yeah.
Who just
Yeah.
comes in and is just like,
Plow.
yeah, just
Yeah.
shoots her like 7 times in the fucking
Yeah,
face.
exactly. And like, okay, and now I'm all of a sudden in like deep like Eastern European bloc, like
So weird.
Yeah.
300
Yes.
years ago, where it's like,
yeah, I was like, did we
there's-
go back in time?
it's like they use a bunch of candles, but there's some electricity. It's like, where am I at right now?
It made no sense.
But
Well,
I mean,
Mother
I get
Miranda
it.
had been controlling the town for 300 years, keeping them out of the mainstream.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like that started to develop like down the line where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
this is almost like the Village type-esque setting, but Resident Evil style.
They brought
Yeah.
M. Night in to kind of help
Yeah,
with the writing.
consultant.
Yeah, well, that was not necessarily the twist I was looking for. But no, I would at least say for being someone who wasn't involved in Resident Evil for a while, and let alone just 7, like this being the
Direct
that being
sequel.
the
Yeah.
precursor to this, I got it by the end. It was a long journey though.
It was.
That definitely took some time. I mean, you kind of got an idea where Ethan's hand was fucking cut off, and he's like, "I'm just gonna go ahead and
Put it back on.
oh
Yeah.
look, it works again." I'm like, the fuck? Okay, obviously something is
Yes.
off with him.
There was stuff like that in 7 as well.
Okay.
Where he would get like his hand ripped off.
It's
There's-
after his first confrontation with Baker.
Was it?
Yes.
I don't remember
Okay.
the timeline of that game, but
Because
yeah.
that's where Baker kills him. Baker kills human Ethan
Yeah.
after their first confrontation.
And then where at least it seems like then it's like it kind of becomes more explained when
Miranda explains it.
Eveline.
Yeah, Evelyn, yeah.
Evelyn at the end was like, "You've been dead the whole time," and like, holy fuck, am I getting sixth sensed? Like,
Yeah.
what's happening right now? It's like I knew something was off, and even just looking at like the title picture where it's like a human face and then like werewolf or like lichen face, I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, there's a little bit of something to that.
I thought he was going to turn into a werewolf at some point.
That would have been pretty cool,
Well, that
but
was Chris's face.
either way, it's like there's I don't.
Ethan's face has never been revealed.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which I was worrying about that because like, oh, I saw Chris like third person,
Which was
and then-
odd because it was like clearly they were avoiding it in some of those ending scenes.
Correct. I don't know why, but I feel like that is going to have payoff in 8, and I don't know why.
You mean in 9?
Or yeah, 9.
Okay,
The next
Nine.
one.
maybe 9.
I feel like they'll pay that off somehow.
Maybe, but
Yeah,
at the same time,
I
they
want to
don't
talk about that at theories when towards the end of the
Sure,
story
sure,
discussion.
they don't have to though. I mean, that's fine. But
Yeah.
either way, it's like it feels like it really came together in like the last 3 hours of the game. like where it actually started to make sense as like a fresh player.
Yeah, taking this as a standalone game, like you said, Steve, like you skipped a lot of stuff in your story synopsis, and you know, we're like, oh, I'm going for the drama stuff,
Which will come back.
but you hit all the parts of the story that actually mattered to me. There was a huge chunk that you skipped in the middle that I just felt was like super filler, that I was just like, okay, come the fuck on at some points.
It's the two trials in between Heisenberg's factory. Like, I really think Dimitrescu's story and stuff that's happening there is kind of interesting, and Heisenberg's factory is really interesting.
His factory was too long.
The two in the middle,
into
though,
that.
I don't think they added anything to the actual overarching story while it was happening.
There were like 30 minutes.
Yeah, they
Kind
were
of.
small.
I will almost disagree with you a little bit. Only when you got to the point of seeing the files that Miranda had on each of them, and seeing how she was trying to create like
That's in Chris's chapter.
Yeah.
That's when you're playing as Chris. That's after what I'm talking about.
okay, yeah, no,
Yeah.
afterwards. But I'm just saying, like, at least like reverting back to
Like
it's not
referring back to
Mordecai,
like
but it's like
Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, Moreau.
Yeah.
Moreau and Dollface bitch. It's like kind of going back.
Bienvenido or something.
Yeah, Bienvenido.
I don't think that's
Donna.
actually it, but
No, yeah, I think you're
it
right.
was.
Yeah, no, you're right. Where they did just seem a little bit of filler, but I also think it's kind of, they're kind of necessary to be like, oh, these are my fuck ups, and then Dimitri and Heisenberg were like, these are like my star pupils, like all.
Yeah.
Were you talking about? Are you talking about the two middle people as the filler?
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like
I mean,
the lead up to Heisenberg's factory. You go through that like castle area where you kind of go in, like, where you slaughter,
Elias or whatever.
where you slaughter a shit ton of lichens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that's what we were
that was
referring
dumb,
to.
too.
That was filler. I don't know about the other two. I think it was good that they went through the four
Yes,
family
yeah,
members.
that's what I was
So
too,
here's the
but-
thing.
yeah.
Hold on. I don't want you guys to misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying from a gameplay standpoint or even a story standpoint that they weren't worth playing. I'm saying that there's a reason that you can blow through both of those in like a half an hour. They're smaller areas, and there's not a lot to discover about the story in those areas.
Like from them, they don't provide a whole lot to the overall context.
Dimitrescu is your first introduction to all of the lords and how powerful they can be.
Goddamn sure right she
And then
is.
Heisenberg, his whole time is like, look, you can go to where I was. I don't give a fuck. You can have Rose back. I want you to fucking help me take out Miranda. And that whole situation there is interesting as well.
Yeah.
But like he's so smart that he wants to overthrow Miranda.
He's so smart, he's stupid.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's right. He's almost like too far ahead of himself for his own good. It's like it's like I get it. You got this, and you have all the power. You are the creation. You're the one. And
Yeah.
it's like he even states that about like Miranda talking about him. It's like, I am the chosen one. Like I am the specimen, and I don't fucking want it. And at the same time, like, that's kind of refreshing. Cool. We have a, similar goal. We want to shoot this bitch in the face. It's just, you want to kill my baby in the process of it, no matter what.
well, Rose is already dead.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Rose
a whole
is
nother
dead
thing.
as soon as you arrive in the village, pretty much.
That's a whole nother thing.
yeah, she's cut up into a bunch of vials.
Kind of with some black magic, you bring her back together, who is something that isn't something she is.
Actually, okay, so we don't have to revisit it later. Let me toss out a big gripe. I'm really back and forth on story because I think there's a lot of amazing points.
Sure. Yeah. Go for it.
Do it, man.
I do have a big gripe. I feel Konami did this story 23 years ago.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think there is so many parallels to Silent Hill in this game where you're
Oh, wow.
in seeking your daughter is getting reincarnated. It like there's this whole cult, and like you see this old lady in the town who is misguiding you, but is actually the source at the end.
The machine guy with the fucking drill hand had big, like, fucking Pyramid Head vibes for me.
But he's talking about a different game.
Wait,
Pyramid
I was
Head's-
talking about
is
mainly
the-
the first Silent Hill.
Pyramid Head's not in
and
the
I
first
feel
Silent Hill.
like
second one, right?
the way
But,
that
yeah.
they ended it is very similar to how they ended the first one and leading into Silent Hill 3, where the daughter takes her turn to tell her story.
I don't know that the 9th game is going to be us playing as Rose.
Nobody does right now.
No, but I have a very strong prediction that it's going to be, and she's seeking out her father or something along those lines. I'm just tossing it out there. I'd put money on it.
Yeah, well, you can switch father for mother, Ed, but Ethan is apparently like a completely different type of being, to where even Mia said it's like
You don't know how strong he is or whatever.
exactly,
Yeah.
and where he comes back. So who knows if it may be where you start playing as Rose, and then all of a sudden, fucking Ethan pops up out of nowhere. I mean, it's Resident Evil, so I mean, anything is possible in that line.
He's melted and vaporized with the metamycel.
Maybe.
He's been reconstructed how many times, though? I mean, if it killed him...
Maybe. And you're talking about a whole different strain of mold. Maybe he's like made of something else.
So that was the thing. The metamycel is supposedly what the basis for what happened at the Bakers was. And Chris keeps referring to the organization instead of Umbrella, because I don't think Umbrella is a thing anymore.
Maybe just more of a thought rather than like
Yes. Did you
maybe.
guys find the Oswald Spencer paper?
Yeah. The ones where it was like, Spencer was here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the same scene where, like, you're looking at all
yeah,
the
where
books
where
of-
he was
and you're
basically
playing as Chris.
an apprentice under Miranda.
Did you
Yeah.
guys read all of that?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he was like... Miranda was teaching him everything about the metamycel, and he's like, oh, and then he, like, pens back later. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to Africa, and I'm going to start a company. We're going to use the
symbol that
the
I
symbol
saw
we
in the
found
caves.
Yeah, and,
So,
and
like-
wasn't that 7?
No, that's one. That's
Yeah.
number one.
They're referring to
that's
one.
yeah. Spencer's the guy that makes Umbrella.
Okay.
So like
Again, I'm so far
and
removed
it's-
out of the
and-
story.
and-
I'm literally
and-
just asking questions.
and you go to the Spencer mansion in one. That's where you are
okay,
with the factory underneath or the lab, I guess, underneath.
sure.
I think they call
For
it.
lack of a
Are
better
you
term.
suggesting that this was Resident Evil -1 because 0 was already taken?
No.
It's making reference.
Okay.
Yeah,
to-
there's like notepads and stuff in Miranda's lab
Yeah,
where she was
did
like
you
pen
check
pals
those
with
out?
Spencer.
Yeah,
I saw some of them, but this was at the point where I was like trying to like.
just get it
go
done.
through it.
Man,
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want to like spoil anything for you because I didn't want to be like, oh, when you're playing as Chris, make sure this one room you like read everything in there.
I was
That
looking
is-
at the pictures. It was like
Dude,
midnight.
I'm
at this
Harry.
point.
I like
honestly,
pictures.
the information in that room puts so much character into all of the actual characters, and then also it seats what the importance and why this whole trip to Eastern Europe is important.
Yeah, see, I feel like I missed out, like, going through that room, because I'm looking at all the pictures, and it looks like these are all, like, throwbacks, whether it be to, 7 or just, like, any of the games previous to that, only playing up to, like, 2, and then I watched you play 4 for a little bit. All I remember is Dart in the Neck, and that's about...
That was the highlight.
about it. Yeah, it was. That was the highlight of Resident Evil 4 for me, was Dart in the fucking neck.
This gun sucks.
Oh, fuck! What is that? But that seemed like such an important feature of the game that I'm like, I feel like I should know more about this, or at least like I hope that anybody who's playing this that has played like any time in like the series will be like, oh fuck, that's that person.
That was me. That was I
Okay.
had that.
You were that person.
Yes, when I was like reading through all the documents where there was the back and forth between him and Miranda, and
Yeah.
he was like, I appreciate what you're doing here. I like that idea, but I'm going to use a virus instead of using something that is genetic. Like I'm going to use something that's more viral.
Gotcha.
And it's just like, okay, this is the birth of the series right here. Like, this is just kind of encapsulating where Umbrella started. Because to me, the whole series is Umbrella, possibly the organization in this one that Chris keeps referring to. But, like, that to me is, like, origin stuff. And, like, that hits hard for me.
I think that was a grasp, though, in my opinion. Like, I think the series is so far from removed from its origins that...
Well,
I think that was just like I want to appeal to my original Resident Evil audience, which, I mean, you're part of that, so like that's why it worked. But like,
that was the only part of it for me, like the entire game. Like to me, I was like, this game and the story and everything doesn't feel Resident Evil.
No, it doesn't.
And like I got to that and I was like, okay, throwbacks, pictures, whatever. Like the Spencer thing was kind of cool. But, like, I don't think it changed this story.
So I think they've done a genre change. I think it started out as a sci-fi series, but now has become fantastical.
Maybe. Well, something I guess I'm also...
Sci-fi?
Like Biohazard, like...
I guess it's more horror-based than sci-fi.
Yeah, but
genre.
Okay, I'm going to cut you guys off. But a question I have is when you're going up to the altar and you're depositing Rose's pieces.
Yeah.
And it has the umbrella button on it.
It has the umbrella button.
Yeah.
So obviously that should have been around for quite some time, and is there an explanation for that? Because
That's
from
what I
what
just
it
said.
seemed-
That's what Spencer was
It's what we were
talking
just
about.
talking about. Spencer said, I'm going to start a company in Africa using the symbols that we saw in the cave and all over your village, which is the umbrella symbol. Because it's all over the place.
Yeah.
He sees it, is inspired by it, and that becomes Umbrella. So that's what I'm saying.
So
like,
we are like encountering the predecessor to Umbrella. Like it's just
Yeah. Sort of.
yeah, it's the inspiration for Umbrella.
Yeah,
that's
This
what they
place
were
is the
going for.
inspiration. Yeah.
okay.
Okay, just
that's-
like I don't see how this can be on the same timeline as the original, though. That pisses me off. Like if you want to call them,
It's not the same timeline. That's the whole point.
okay.
We're looking at letters that were written 20 years previously. When we're looking at this, like when you're in the room and you're picking up stuff, you're picking up stuff that's not like current, right?
No,
Dated. Yeah.
I understand that, but
But-
it's still in the same universe. I
Yes.
feel like
Yeah.
this is an entirely different.
I'm not arguing that point.
Okay.
okay.
That's how I feel like each.
It doesn't feel the same.
No.
I'm saying this is what they were going for.
Okay,
though.
so this is fucking you guys up as much as it is me.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's been my biggest gripe with Resident Evil. Well,
like establishing a
since
timeline, like
Since
where
four.
it's, where it actually where
For-
everything.
There's
sits.
too many gaps in between games.
Okay,
That like there is no like smooth transition. It's just like
so there's two types of purists when it comes to the Resident Evil games. You either like the original 3 or you like the original 3 and 4 and you don't see a problem with 4. I'm one of the people that like didn't like 4 and I knew the problem immediately as soon as it launched. I was
Okay.
like, "Oh cool, they made a Resident Evil action game." And when it came out and it was like getting critically praised, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And I was like, "They ruined Resident Evil, guys."
yeah, they did.
yeah.
That's what did it.
They changed it.
I mean,
They-
it was good in its
Okay.
own right, which I feel like this game is good in its own right.
Yeah.
But they slapped the Resident Evil name on it, and that's what pisses me off.
it was its own
it's like an
IP.
internal
Okay.
struggle, not
Yeah.
a gripe against the
Right.
gameplay of the game,
Yeah.
but
See,
that's going to come out. I
it's
think.
against what you grew up with.
Yes, it is.
I
Okay.
would have rather had these than 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, 5 is trash. It's a real trash Resident Evil game.
Five's the best of those 3.
I'm not saying the story's good. I just think the gameplay
No,
is
no,
fun.
I was
To be
literally
clear.
saying it just to get under, under your skin.
6 is terrible.
Oh yeah,
6 is the worst. It's one of those things like where I see these as like essentially like standalone types of things. like 7 and 8 is like its own world with
Yeah, yeah.
Resident Evil trappings.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Like, what I don't want is 9 to all of a sudden be, oh, it's back to Stars versus Umbrella. Because, like, if they tap that again, it like, and put it in this
You're
new
done.
game style, I'm done. I'm actually going to be legitimately done with Resident
Are we
Evil.
putting that in concrete? If like 9 is like, oh, it's Stars Umbrella, here we go again. You're just like, I am
It
just
won't
not
be
going to do
Stars,
this.
though. It'll be the BSS or whatever the fuck
Yeah,
it was.
the BSAA. BSAA.
You know what's even
The Boy Scouts of America.
We got double America, motherfucker.
You know it's wild too because they're pumping out this like new Resident Evil franchise while still making the remakes of the originals. Like,
Oh, yeah, they're-
in between one another,
I'm
just
okay
to
with
really
that.
fuck up.
I'm okay with that.
It's going to make money, and they are pandering to the audience. Where
All
it's
about
like,
that
oh,
cat
do you
count.
like this
Okay.
one? No.
Hold on.
All right,
I'm gonna
do
try
this
to,
one.
I'm going to try to rein this back in.
All right,
we're not talking about 8 anymore, so let's get back to
no,
8.
there's a lot of emotions flying right
Yes,
now, though.
yeah.
Let me tell you
Let's-
about Resident Evil 12
Let's-
right now.
Let's like get back to 8.
We're
okay?
going to space.
So, what did you guys have like any like favorite moments in the story or favorite parts that stuck out to you?
I think not the character building of Ethan, but I thought the House Benevito on the hill. It's probably the scariest moment in the game for me.
Yes.
I agree.
Yup.
But the character behind the doll, if you read like any of those documents,
Yeah.
I think the character building was better. I think that was the best of the 4 is from a character building
Really, even over
standpoint.
Heisenberg?
Yeah.
Heisenberg was really
Heisenberg
fleshed
was
out.
like he was okay.
I don't think he was fleshed out. I think he just had some interesting things that I could see why more people are drawn to him.
And they gave him a unique motive.
He was
which made him stand
eccentric.
apart.
Other than that,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't like. I think the multiple personalities and splitting her power and putting it into her dolls and Miranda being upset about that in particular, like that was interesting to me and how she was doing all of that shit. How she was like, no, I'm not going to be like I'm going to be all of these.
Yeah.
yeah.
Was pretty interesting to me.
I would say that was probably the scariest portion of the entire game.
100%.
Like I had like some like anxiety going like, you know, like up to that point, but once
Fucking jump scares in that fucking building, dude.
once you started going through and like you went into the doll room and you had to dismantle the doll. It's like, okay, well,
Dude,
this
it was
is like
before that. It
this
was before
is-
that.
No, this
As
was
soon
like
as you went into the house and there was nothing in there.
yeah.
Yeah, it
Well,
was
that
just
that
super
was something
creepy.
where it gave you like an eerie sense of like there's nothing going on. And I should be comfortable with this, but I'm not comfortable with
Yeah,
this.
you're like, there's
and
all these rooms to explore, but they're
and
already all blue.
As you
what's
went
happening?
through it, it accentuated. Like it's like, okay, well, it's okay. Well, no, dismantle the doll. Here's one puzzle. Okay, you're going along. Find something else, like on this doll that you're dismantling, and there's some shit in the background. And then when all the
and it has
fucking lights
Mia's
goes
wedding
off,
ring and shit like that.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
when you're going through that, and as soon as that fucking creepy goddamn baby pops up,
Oh, it wasn't
I
a
will-
fully developed baby.
I will say everything after that was a walk in the park. I was not afraid. I was not scared. I had no anxiety because that thing
did the worst already.
that thing terrified.
Did anyone
the
die
fuck
to
out
the
of me.
baby?
No.
No.
I died once.
I
did
was not letting that thing come.
All I went. I was like, the fuck is happening right now? It's like
Getting
they
chased
was
by a giant baby.
I would get scared like that and then forget that you could do like the pull the stick backwards, hit B thing to flip around.
Yeah.
And I'd be like scared, and then it'd be turning and be like, oh!
I know it's like. I mean that there was the part
full
where
back.
you ran down into the bedroom and you could hide under the bed,
Oh, yeah.
and then you
I just imagine
saw
him
it.
kicking his little feet under.
It's just it was. That's all it did. It's like walking around. It's like it comes up to the side of the bed and it's like
Oh no, I was talking about Ethan, like a little kid,
like
that's-
kicking his
is
feet like
hiding
he has
underneath
his
the
little
bed with his
toes. He's
feet
outside.
kicking.
He's like, I'm so scared and I'm okay.
It's like, oh, God, I got to get behind the curtain.
That was probably the most terrifying sequence in the entire game that I don't care. Yeah, as many jump scares of like lichens popping out of nowhere or like vampires or whatever the fuck it is. It's like that took the cake for me. It's like
easily the scariest part of
now,
that game.
Now I can actually ask, was that you said it's like I found my first nope.
Yeah. That was
Okay.
I shut
That was
off
it?
for the night. I was
Okay.
like, I'm done.
Okay.
Like save point.
Yeah.
Save point.
No, actually, scariest part of that house, just real quick, is how long that elevator is. Because you know the game's loading some shit.
Oh yeah. So you're going up and you see it, and then you just see it going more like, oh god damn it, what the fuck am I gonna have to do? And then you're walking up like out of the well, and then you walk into the room, and everything is just like lit and red. And you're like, oh fuck, this is not good. Blood trail leading out the door. Let me go out there, down the hallway, down
Lights
around
go
the
out.
corner.
You're like,
Oh, no. Just run the opposite way. For fuck's sake.
yeah, it was a brutal part of that game.
That I have not felt that feeling in so long, and which I will give them credit. Hey, job well done. I pooped a little bit.
So Joe unknowingly jinxed us when we all went to see Jackass. Joe and I were sitting there, and he was like, "You know what's really scary? Dolls. I wonder if there's any games with dolls in them." we were looking at horror games with dolls in them.
That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was like. That's I threw it in Discord. I was like, "Joe jinxed us, guys."
That's right. I remember I was like looking up on Steam. I was like, doll horror games. Like,
Yeah, and he found some very interesting, weird ones too.
Okay.
He was like, this one looks cool, but I don't like this tag, and it's like dating sim. And it's like, what the fuck? It's a horror game.
It's all marionettes.
Yeah.
Suck your dick.
oh man.
I really enjoyed the story as a standalone. I didn't play 7. I watched Hamill play a lot of it because he live streamed the entire thing. So I like watched Hamill play a bunch of it. I played a bunch. I played some of it at his house. I watched him play a bunch of it at his house. Played a little in VR, but I couldn't do that either. Overall, I thought it was a really, I don't want to say concise because it did go on at some points.
It
Yeah.
took some building to get there.
But I think it paid itself off, and I don't think a lot of games in a 8 to 15 hour format do that a lot. I feel like this had a lot of payoff for the stuff that you were doing.
Yeah, it feels like they had a. It feels like they tried to stuff a lot in the end, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, the Ethan story with this game, I get it. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was a little trope where it's like, oh, I had to save my daughter. And then all of a sudden your daughter is like in 4 separate pieces in a container. And it's like, oh, how am I going to do this?
Right.
So it feels like it did.
Little Elmer's glue.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Just run a bead of caulk and you're good to go. It did feel like it was a little like pushed, but not enough where I felt like I was done wrong. Like it's like, okay, it's like I already realized like they set the standard. Like Ethan, he's a little different. Okay, Mia, something felt a little weird about her in the beginning. Apparently, we found that out too. Where
And
it's
he
like,
was saying that she had been acting different for like a week or
Yeah.
two.
Well, yeah. So one of the things was big in 7 is, I think you were talking about early in the story. She had like a demon inside of her. So
Yes.
you'd be walking side by side with her one scene, and she turns around, her face is darker, and she's like ripping off your arm the very next scene. And she goes in and out of this character.
sounds like my wife. I'm sorry, I love you.
So
But no, I get that, and it feels like they kind of play to it. So I am not unhappy with how the story itself played out. I felt like I got resolution by the end of it, and then it just left me with like, all right, well, I'm going to have to play the next one to see how the story actually progresses or hopefully ends.
Character I would like to talk about real quick. The Duke.
okay, I was just about to interject that with that too.
Okay.
I put my hand up for 1 second And then Steve was still continuing, so I was like, all right, I'll wait.
I don't stop talking.
I want to know more about the Duke.
Yeah.
You even ask him. It's like, what are you about? He's like, I don't know. I'm just here.
My favorite line though was, "What are you buying?" Just kidding. I had a friend that used to say that.
That was my backup quip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just something an old friend used to say.
I like how he got you.
Which ties the universe to 4 as well. Just through that one character.
Can I take a stab in the dark? I think he's the Grim Reaper.
Duke?
Yeah.
Think he's death?
What?
You think he's death?
Yes.
Death. Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
Huh.
Why?
Just because he all the weapons that he was selling you, he kept saying, "Oh, it's an investment." I think it was an investment for him.
Well, he's gluttony. He's greed. There's at least that sloth.
What?
I don't think a lot of that stuff is representative of Resident Evil.
Yeah,
No,
but
I'm just saying
there was
general.
a thing at the end. He said, because he was even asking, Duke, who are you or what are you? And he's like, I can't even answer.
Do you think he was on a Miranda experiments?
I don't think so.
I don't think. I think he is his own person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Because
wouldn't be
he-
able to move so freely.
Oh, yeah, you're
And
right.
he takes you to her. Like after
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
quote unquote died
Die,
again.
yeah, he picks
He's
you
like,
up.
it's like, I figured you'd want to go there, so I just took you there.
Yeah,
so he's
we're
like,
already on the way.
yeah, he's like, oh, all right, you're helping me out.
It's one of those things we'll never know more about. him.
Could even just be Ethan's subconscious. Nobody else saw him. Nobody else
Selling
can
himself
confirm.
guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, just sell himself
Who
guns.
knows what he's doing? He's in reality just carving his arm bone into a sharp spear or something. He thinks it's
Yeah.
like a fucking handgun.
I don't know.
It's totally
He's just
delusional.
standing there. He just raids a fucking house and he sets all the stuff up and he's like, I'll give you a third.
What are you buying?
He's just going nuts.
Apparently, Ethan really loves 600-pound life.
And bartering with himself.
Yeah. What do you want to do? Food, guns.
Come on, man. Can you give me a deal?
I'm
no.
gonna eat 7 fish at once.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. There's fucking meals.
To have hunger is to live.
I don't know. I think there's some fun to be had with guessing at who
Yeah.
he is.
I don't know that they would represent the Grim Reaper because they don't really delve into the life, death, angels, demons. Well, demons a little bit, but it's more possession via mold or via they delve into some of the demonic tropes without saying this is a demon from hell because none of that actually ever comes up.
And there's really not
in
a
Resident
whole lot of
Evil.
angelic type things that kind of here's your savior. It's more
You can
Yeah.
have death without all that, though. You don't need to have demons
yeah.
and angels to have death represented.
Oh, we're getting philosophical.
Typically there's some semblance of mention of those two entities even existing.
Or at least a balance.
in that. Well, no, I'm just saying typically any medium that has death in it as a representative character, it also acknowledges that heaven and hell exist typically in that medium as well. I actually can't think of anything that doesn't. I'm trying.
I can. Family Guy.
God's in Family Guy.
No, Jesus is in. Oh, no.
God's in there too.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's there. Yeah.
R.I.P. Norm Macdonald. So I feel like there's a lot, we've said a lot of points in this story, are decent, but, there's a lot of shit that's just, not great. The story of Dimitrescu and, her quote-unquote daughters or whatever,
Yeah.
that was cool, but it was so long-winded, it was ridiculous.
I feel like there wasn't a whole lot of substance to the daughters. It was just oh, here I am. And then I break a window, shoot you in the face, and it's done. It's
Yeah, it was
what is the
90%
point?
of that whole story was just running around the castle doing meaningless tasks.
And avoiding her.
Yeah, it was just run from them until you get to the correct room where the cutscene happens,
Right.
which was fucking ridiculous, and it kind of ruined the rest of the game for me because it just felt like they were okay, we're just gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep running to a room where the cutscene happens, or you're in the arena room or whatever, right? And I was like, okay, I get it. That's a lot of these games, but like this one, like Dimitrescu just like drove me nuts because it was so long. And like you said, Heisenberg's area was long. I don't think it was. I got through that way faster.
Yeah, same.
It felt long. I didn't enjoy it as much as the castle. I thought the castle was cool to explore.
The castle was cool to explore. It had differentiating looks if you want to wait for graphics to talk about it or whatever, but the factory was just a lot of the same shit. But yeah, I don't know. It kind of ruined it for me. And then like we went right into the doll thing, which was scary, but there was no development there. Right? The development for that character actually happens later, which is kind of weird.
You know.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's what I was saying earlier, that the two middle characters have no development in their actual time that you're playing against them.
The only character that wasn't Ethan that I actually like felt for or connected with, oddly enough, was Dr. Moreau. Because he felt like the most helpless, and he was just like, I just want to be happy. And like he was like not trying to actually like, he was just like, look, I don't want to like kill you, but like at the same time, like I just want to be happy. Like, I don't want to piss her off. Like, just like, I don't want to kill you, but like, don't escape either.
He felt like a compassionate character.
Yeah.
Almost.
It was very
where like you
interesting.
can be like, oh, I get, and I thought the same thing, like when you come up like through like that little narrow passageway and you're looking at him through, it's like, oh, please don't do this. I'm like, I'm sorry, bud. I have to do this. And it's like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. It was an interesting one because you already have the fucking thing.
Yeah.
You could have just left.
Could have. But you stuck around because you had to make him change and then you killed him.
Yeah. He was like, I'm sorry. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry too.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to get too more in depth into those two characters or like whatever, but because some of that's gameplay. But yeah, I don't know. I think the story just like really drug for me. Like outside of like the last hour. And then it was just
the last hour is like almost all story.
Yeah, it was just like put the controller down too. It wasn't like development that was happening while you play.
No,
like
you
literally,
didn't do
it was
shit.
like,
You're just like,
put the
all right,
controller down for 10 minutes, play for 5.
Yep.
Put the controller down for 10 minutes, play for 5. And
let
I
me
was like,
see how this plays out.
If I wanted to watch a movie, I'd just watch a movie. I hate games like that.
To each your own. That's okay.
I don't mind it at the end of a game personally.
Well,
If there was more story development, I think throughout the game, I would probably be a little bit more okay with it. Maybe, I don't know, but I feel like it was just like, boom, here's everything.
Do we want to hop into gameplay? Does everyone feel like they said their piece?
yeah, that's fine. Let's jump in.
Yeah.
All right, let's mutate our way into gameplay.
Gameplay.
So, Village kind of takes after 7, where it's first person. Yeah, it's kind of standard for a first person shooter. They don't really, I think, add anything to the first person shooter genre in general. So I don't think that gameplay is necessarily something that we need to really go in depth on.
I don't even think they do a first person shooter justice. So bad.
I played some of the Mercenaries, and I think it actually, when you're really trying to be a first-person shooter, it handles pretty well.
I just felt it very clunky. Like it felt like it felt like tank controls in a first-person view. Like it was very like clunky.
Oh, see, I didn't get that. You
Like-
might have needed to adjust your.
Like I adjusted my sensitivity and stuff like that and things like that. It was just like, I don't know, like, and some of it, like it was clunky, but still very arcadey. Like it would snap like my aiming and shit like that.
Aim on.
Like the auto aim was super aggressive
It was.
sometimes.
Yeah, with that.
And like sometimes it was just like you would be like aiming at something and then like something would walk away and you're just like, wah! And like your aim would just like dart away and it'd be like, fuck.
Trying to get a headshot was kind of frustrating because it would like
it
it would bring it back down to the chest like
Yeah.
all the time.
I turned it off after the first Village. I was like, I'm not dealing with this anymore.
It was
same
bad.
boat. Like it just made that so much better. Like as I played it as a first-person shooter rather than anything else. And like, all right, well, if I can't actually have control over the commands or like where I want my reticle to go, then I'm not going to deal with it.
Note
too
to
much.
developers, if you're going to make an auto aim thing, you need to make it like Grand Theft Auto, where you can auto lock onto somebody
And just
then,
hit a button to go to the next target.
And you can hit the button to go to the next target, but also when you auto lock on somebody, then all it does is it makes your bubble that you can move in that target just the outline of the target, so you can move your right stick and actually aim within the target.
Yeah, like if not that, then it's just like, okay, well, if I'm going like person to person, it's like a quick flick of the stick, and then to be on the next person, and from that you could be like center chest, and then like another flick to make sure it's like, okay, well, I'm moving up in the right direction, or at least like stay locked on so I can.
So the worst. To give people an example that haven't experienced like this game or this ridiculousness of the auto aim. So like there were instances where you would have a hallway of enemies coming at you, and if like you're shooting at the one in front of you and like it moves to the side and for like your reticle targets the one behind, it will just stay on the one behind it regardless of like the one closer to you coming back into frame.
So you
like,
had
and it wouldn't go back.
So you had auto lock on as well.
I didn't touch the options, to be honest with you.
There's-
They were the default options, and they were awful.
There's an auto aim. There's an auto aim and an auto lock. That once you lock on and you press L2, you're locked onto that target until it's dead.
I was on L2 usually prior to.
Yeah, and then your auto lock kicks on.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Because I never hip fired. Pretty
it
much.
should be one or the other. Really, it should be one or the other by default.
Yeah, I totally get where that was. That could definitely be a frustrating situation.
Yeah, it drove me fucking nuts the entire time. And like usually most games is not as aggressive when you're scoped in. Like when you had the sniper rifle and you're trying to shoot like typically the flying things.
Oh,
The
you're
fucking-
trying to
the flying
shoot
monkeys from
flying
Wizard of
things
Oz?
with like a fucking sniper rifle.
Well, yeah, when they would perch.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So they would perch, and I would
Okay.
try to aim at them.
Yeah.
But if something would fly anywhere fucking close, it would be like, burp, and pull off to the one that's moving. Oh, it's so frustrating. So now I go, okay, it's perched, and there's nothing nearby. Now I can actually take my shot, because otherwise it would just pull off.
Yeah, and that's a simple setting change to correct all of that to just allow
It shouldn't
you
even
to
be on by
Yeah,
default.
maybe. I mean, it's the only time I really like used the sniper rifle when it was like a distance was when you were, forget which part of the game, but you're climbing up, and it's also like a decrepit castle almost, and there were the lichen like everywhere that would pop out when they started shooting like flaming arrows.
Yeah, before you fight your Cyrus or whatever.
Yeah, before I fart
fart
your
him.
Cyrus. Before I fart
on
him.
fire.
I got an awesome achievement during that. I ran behind cover, and there was a box there, and I was like, oh, I could use the ammo, and someone fired an arrow at me, and I went to swipe
Did
the
you
box,
do it?
and I hit the
you got that.
yeah, I hit the arrow out of the air and got
Nice.
the achievement for it.
Damn.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Can you shoot it out of the air to get that achievement?
Yeah.
Because I shot an arrow out of the air. I don't
It's,
know.
it's deflecting an arrow.
With your melee weapon.
Okay.
It's specifically with your melee weapon.
I think there's two, because there's one with melee, and you can shoot one down. I think
I
there
didn't
is
look
like
at any
an
of the
achievement.
achievements on this game.
No, I just saw him pop up. I'm like, huh.
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
I did something.
so.
I did good.
So me personally, I didn't actually have a problem with the controls, but I always turn auto aim, auto assist off. For most games,
They should have just been like, you know how you die and it's like, do you want to go to casual?
Yeah.
Like, it should have like started with it off. And
Like
be
the Red Dead thing
you
where
seem
it's
to
like,
suck. Do you
yeah,
want to turn this on?
You want to kind of like tweak this a little bit to make it easier, and then like, okay, I do that. That seems fine.
favorite weapons.
I mean, outside of the Magnum,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yes. I would say the second shotgun that you get. I even thought of it like as I was getting through the end of the game. Like I need to make a list of the weapons because this is going to be crucial for myself. And I did not make that list of the weapons, but the second shotgun that you get towards like the end of the game, like the last
The tack.
1/5
Yeah.
of the game, that thing was fucking key.
Oh, that was the AA-12, right? The late game shotgun.
Essentially.
There's 3 shotguns.
yeah,
in
the
the
second
game.
one.
The second tier was the TAC.
Yeah.
The last one was the one that Chris had.
Yeah, the Dragoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris
Which
had
was, yeah.
Chris didn't have a shotgun.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Sorry. Yeah.
it. Duke was selling it.
Yeah.
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 I didn't buy it.
Because you only got two shotguns in the first playthrough.
Yeah.
I bought
Yeah.
You could, in mine, you can get the third one.
Yeah, you could get the third one from Duke at the end.
Yep.
Well,
And he had an
After you-
automatic
you can
pistol
get the
as well.
third handgun, but I don't remember unless.
There's a shotgun there.
Yeah, it was a shotgun.
Yeah,
Okay,
could
I
get it
must
in
admit-
Heisenberg's tower.
Yeah.
thing. That's where it showed up for me.
that's where I got the shotgun. So maybe I missed one in the middle somewhere because there was
Maybe
the
you
one.
just
There was
didn't
the
get
fir-
the second
Was
shotgun.
it
Yeah.
like 120,000 to buy?
Oh yeah, it was stupid expensive.
Okay, yeah. Then you
That's
got
the
the
third
third
one.
one.
Okay. So
Okay.
Because
I
the
was gonna
second
say-
one you get out of a box.
yeah, because the third one was the one that you could actually have like the red dot reticle or at least like the scope on it to like where it said in the description that it was more for a single target.
Okay. Interesting.
And that was a game changer for me because by that point, I really enjoyed the shotgun. Mm-hmm. But to have it like go from 940 damage to like 12, 13, 1400,
Yeah.
I'm like, I just.
My tier 2 shotgun I had leveled up to do that.
Yeah.
that damage
Yeah.
as
It was
well.
mine was
Yeah.
like 1700 by the time the third shotgun showed up,
Okay.
and you couldn't see the damage before you bought stuff, which was fucking dumb.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Well, if
To
you
be fair,
went
you couldn't see damage anytime other than when you were in the upgrade screen, which was also dumb.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah,
that's false. If you went into your inventory and you examined
Yeah.
your weapon,
You can see the damage there.
you could see the damage.
Okay.
But you didn't see that on it's hard to calculate. You
Yeah,
couldn't see any
unless
numbers.
like there was
Yeah.
an upgrade screen for it, then you're not going to look at it or whatnot. But that other shotgun, that was like the one. It's like because I used the sniper rifle, that was fine.
Yeah.
I had the LE handgun
Right.
for as long as I could, and then I got the upgraded one. I never got the customizable because I just didn't think it was fucking worth it by that point.
The third one?
Yeah.
The third one was badass.
I didn't do it because it was just like
That
it was
was
like
my favorite gun.
an
Same.
extra 150, 200 damage compared to what the one
It
I had
stacked up
was.
though, because you could get like a 20 mag
Eventually, yeah, but I just threw
third
my
pistol you're talking about?
Yeah.
second pistol.
no third pistol.
Third pistol.
I'm
Last
talking
pistol.
about the third pistol.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
buy either of the third pistol or the third shotgun.
Oh, I got the
I
third
put
pistol, and it's fucking wild.
The
Oh
automatic
yeah,
one.
I got that one.
Yeah.
It had
Yeah.
like the whole.
Yeah, it was like the V
yeah.
something
Yeah.
customizable. Yeah, I did not buy that.
By that point, I literally, all I did was put all my fucking money into the Magnum. I was like,
There wasn't a lot of ammo
And that-
for it
yeah,
though.
that's the thing.
Yeah,
It's like
I
there,
used the Magnum for Miranda, and that was it. Really,
there was a couple instances
5
where
shots
where
killed the boss.
yeah, like I used the Magnum.
I used it on like your Cyrus and like fucking just downed him.
I used my shotgun on him and the grenade launcher.
I will say I focused a lot of my what was the where you make the shit? What do they call that?
crafting.
Crafting. I crafted I sunk most of my shit into the grenade launcher
Oh,
rounds.
okay.
I was walking around with 30 rounds of that thing at one point.
I mean, it's
yeah.
not a bad way to go.
Yeah.
Especially you can flashbang them, and if you have it like
I didn't fuck the flashbang
Yeah,
ones.
flashbang
Really?
was terrible.
Explosive rounds, way to go.
Yeah.
see,
They
you're-
recovered from the flashbang too quickly.
Yeah, they do,
I
and it
agree.
doesn't even work on all enemies.
No.
yeah.
Like it would
Any-
not
any-
stun
any of
some
the
of the
tier twos.
the chainsaw guys. Like
Yep.
they
Yeah.
could walk right through it.
I flashed the chainsaw guy, and I was like, okay, I'll flash it. I'll switch to the shotgun and start blasting him. By
and
the
then he
time I
says
switched
that's
to the
a
shotgun,
tiny dick.
yeah. By the time I had the shotgun out, he was already like chasing me down already. I'm like, okay,
Huh.
so he's flashed for a shorter period of time than me just swapping weapons.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Most useless item in the game is probably the mine.
I'm sorry, the mine?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you.
I used it a few times.
I will
I put
fight
it
you
down
on
a
that.
lot, and then like people would just most of the time like not like walk around it or like whatever, and I'm like
He puts it in the biggest rooms possible.
I'm gonna have to step it on it.
like, even the like
Come on, Dimitrescu.
even in the rooms like the room where you fight your Cyrus, which I know I'm saying his name wrong, but I don't care.
It was Uriah.
Uriah. Okay, whatever. The room where you fight him, the room where you fight like the
Urinal.
the fucking propeller guy.
Pee on his
Okay.
cakes.
I was like, okay, these are going to be little small rooms where they're going to have to come charge at me, right? So I was like, I'll put it down, and then like I'll just stand behind it, and they would like not explode on it and shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
I'll at least give you that where it's like, if there's a path, let's say it's like 10 feet wide, and you put it here, and unless you direct them like in that path, if they come like very close to it, they're going to walk over and not actually trigger the mine.
Yeah.
So it's
Like,
more
they
of
have to
like
be on top of it. There's no like
right.
There's
but
no give.
So I'm going to also say at the same point, it's kind of your fault because you didn't put it like right in the middle and you didn't lead them there. Yes, maybe.
I mean, if
like,
I'm standing, if they're on one side of it and I'm on the other,
sure.
like why would
Then,
They
then you
just
fucked
kick
up
it at
and
ya.
didn't get
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
They helped with the butcher for me.
the butcher.
The one shack where you pick up a shit ton of meat.
Oh yeah,
That was a
but
great
before
room to use
before
it.
you get to like before you go
It's
up
like
the tunnel to Heisenberg.
the mini Heisenberg area. The pre-Heisenberg.
Yeah, the side part.
Butcher.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah,
picking up on who
also
that is.
there was a few
a
times
side boss.
that there's like giant axe wielding guys, like the giants.
the
Lycans who were like swing around and go. Yeah, the big
mines
Lycans,
worked
yeah.
on them because they would hit them with their axe half the time, and then they would just explode, knock
Right.
them
That
makes
over.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not my favorite item, no.
No,
By a
but-
long shot.
yeah, no.
No, I would take a pipe bomb over a mine.
Yeah.
like
I didn't even like the
anytime.
pipe bombs. I didn't really like the explosives other than the grenade launcher.
I don't know. I really felt like
The
this
ra-
was
like he threw like a pussy.
Yeah.
Can we just say that? Like
Yeah.
his distance on his throws
go
with the
pipe bomb.
bomb.
He's made a mold. What do you want?
Yeah, I know that's true.
Though I will say, for the first time in a long time, this is the most versatile that I've used with, like... This is the first game in a while that I actually utilize the entire inventory at all. Like, between guns and side ammunition, whether it be pipe bombs, mines, grenade launchers, and whatnot. You know, there's been several that have had these options, but it's the first one.
I
first
used my
time.
whole arsenal.
Yeah,
Like everything that I had available.
Did you guys find it was odd that you couldn't throw away like certain items?
Like
I
what?
never had to.
I couldn't throw away mines. There was one point where I had like over 10 mines.
But you just set it and forget it, man.
Well, I did that at one point, and it drove me nuts because like I did it at the wrong time clearly. Because like I stayed too closely going to the next like rooms, so for like 45 minutes of playing, it was just like this beeping sound off in the distance. And,
You suck at mines.
It wouldn't like because I was going to pick up like shotgun ammo, and I was literally full.
Oh my god.
Just sell them, man.
I love Joe's gripes with games. He's like, I'm bad at games and I'm mad about it.
No, I mean like
I wanted to point my boat in this direction, and I didn't realize that I had side cannons.
all right, find another fucking wave to swim into.
Goddamn right. He's been holding on that to the ears.
No, but like if I was in the middle of a dungeon and like you couldn't store anything, which didn't make sense. Like to me, like it would have been real easy to put a storing thing with Duke.
You know what? They
Like
they
a box?
grabbed onto that briefcase idea since Resident Evil 4, and they are fucking holding on like
Yeah,
with, like
expand your inventory.
Oh yeah, I love this
stupid.
briefcase idea. It's fucking hot.
Before I forget about it, the only like redeeming quality of the inventory system in this one that I haven't seen before is rotating the items that were 2 slots was kind of nice to really fit shit in.
Wait, you can rotate
Welcome
things?
to Resident Evil.
No,
They've
wait,
been
you
doing
can
that for
actually
years.
rotate things?
Yeah.
R2.
I mean, it didn't matter because I bought the extra inventory because I knew I was
did
going to
too.
use it.
Yeah, but there were still times where
Yeah, like before I got like the last upgrade at Heisenberg's, like when I was going through the Lycan Castle place, that's what I'm talking about. Like I was like full, and I was like, oh shit! Like there's like I had like 3 piles of ammo after like killing a shit ton of Lycans, and I was like, I can't pick this up. I'm never going to use these fucking mines. Let me just toss them, and it wouldn't let you. It's like just let me fucking throw them out. Like
Well, there was
Dumb.
a way if you pick up something and you don't have room in your inventory, then you can put them in that side thing.
Certain items
I
it
think
wouldn't
you're
let you
wrong,
do.
but
Yeah.
It literally has a trash can symbol with a no. It wouldn't let you. It was really dumb.
all right.
I'm just gonna say,
It would let you do it
I'm
with,
booting this up when I get home.
it would let you do it with ammo, but not the explosives.
okay, I will
was
say,
really dumb.
if you could manage your inventory better, you would not run into this problem. I have never seen the.
You didn't even have the second shotgun.
I had 2 shotguns. I had 2.
There's 3.
And guess what? I fucking sold it because there's no reason to have it, Joe. I want to hold on to this because maybe I'll need it later. Fuck no.
Hey, you're usually the item collector.
Yeah, and
Sir.
guess what? I sold it.
Honestly,
I
honestly,
fucking
with it,
sold it.
Real quick, you weren't walking around with 2 pistols, right?
I had every weapon. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Guess
Okay,
what?
Joe?
Sell your shit.
It's your fault. That's your fault.
Thank you.
That is your fault.
So I did do that for a while. I had the 2 pistols for a bit, and then when I got 2 shotguns, I was like,
oh, this is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I recognize this is going to be a problem. I'm going to sell
And
shit.
you're like, oh, maybe I need some space and not want to hoard everything.
actually, you know what? I didn't sell any weapons until I was in the factory, though.
That's when
Because I saw there's more
sold-
weapons, I was like, there's no way you can get all of these in your inventory.
Once I got the second pistol, I sold the first one. Once I got the second
Same. I did
shotgun,
the exact
I
same
sold
thing.
the
yeah,
first
but
one.
they fire
did-
differently, and that
I didn't do that because when I got the second pistol, my first one was better.
Okay.
Well, because you pre-leveled it up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna hold both.
No, this is what you do. You buy the second pistol, and then you sell the other pistol, and then you just like level up the pistol that you just bought, and then you have like extra money to like. But well, you didn't have space, but like you could have like bought other things.
What a dick.
Did it give you decent money? I didn't even look.
Yeah,
No,
shit
it's like
ton.
$70,000.
I sold
Pretty much,
Yeah.
I
pretty
sold
much,
nothing
if
other
you
than
had,
treasure.
Ooh.
At any given point, if you had like 10 to 20,000 lel or whatever the
you're
fuck
okay.
the coins were,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the weapon, you could buy the second tier. You would just sell the other one, buy the second tier, and you would have your money.
Just bleed your money into the new weapon.
So
Yeah.
I
didn't even look.
Okay.
I
well,
get it
now
with the
that-
pistols, but like
Yeah.
the shotguns, they fire differently, and I preferred the fire on the first
So did I.
shotgun. The second one was too spread.
Yeah.
You had to be up.
You had the third one, not the second one.
Yeah,
Okay. I need to.
and it only
double-check
had like
that.
a 4 capacity.
See, I was okay with that trade off because I felt like if I wanted to do single target damage, I had the sniper rifle, I had the grenade launcher, I had the magnum, and I had my pistol. And for dealing with crowds, that's actually I really wanted the spread on a shotgun. That's typically what shotguns should be. They're not single target damage typically.
I tried to use them for like the big guy, but like, or like, you know, bigger guys, right? Because I was like, okay, let me put more damage down range, right? Because the pistol's going to do 250 a shot or whatever. The shotgun's going to do 1,700. But it's like, you know, shooting a whole hallway wide.
All right, now that we've had the great weapon debate, is there anything else in gameplay you guys want to talk about? Did you guys want to talk about the puzzles at all? There were some interesting ones in here, I feel like.
Did you guys do the spiked ceiling puzzle?
Yep.
Yeah.
Where you have to like jump around onto the top of the spike ceiling. Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah. I liked the mix of puzzles in this, where it wasn't always like, oh, collect these 7 items and then you can unlock a door. Like, I thought it was cool.
No, it was collect these 7 items, put
was
them in a
collect-
press, and then you could put them in the door.
Now you can have
though.
this.
It was, though. In the castle, you had to get all the masks, right?
Yeah, but
in
but that's not the puzzle. Getting the mask isn't the puzzle. Like there are certain
okay,
rooms.
so doing the
so
doing
like,
a puzzle for each mask. Okay.
Yeah, like I thought that was more interesting. Like yes, the picking up items up and putting them into the correct spots is in
that-
every game ever.
Yeah.
So
Kinda.
like that's not the puzzle that I'm
Right,
referring
okay,
to.
fair.
Like I liked having to navigate Moreau's Island, where you were like having to like shoot the pillars and drop the bridges and things like that.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
like that kind of adventuring kind of stuff, I thought really lended well to the area. I like the idea of like, oh, this is like an old decrepit place. If there's places that you could shoot, like, you know, you could get through
come
them
down
and
or
things
whatever,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's more interactive.
yeah. I like an interactive environment, and I like
Especially for your puzzles. I mean, because that's going to keep your interest. It's like, oh, well, this sunbeam goes here, and that opens this thing up. It's like, okay, that's all right. But
Yeah, that's
give
okay.
me a little more like detail, and like make me work for it a little bit.
Like in the castle, I had to run from Dimitrescu, and I ended up collecting 3 of the plates.
Really?
And then I ended up running from her again, and I found the 4th plate. And you grab the 4th plate off of the thing, and then the door comes down behind you.
Okay.
And I was like, "What the fuck do I have to do here to get out of here with this thing?" And I couldn't fucking figure it out. I went up.
Is that the one with the bells or whatever?
No, you have to go up and pick up the dead animal skull, and then
put it
remove
back.
remove the back, and then you're like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was where they taught you to examine everything and then examine it again.
Right.
Yeah. I want to say too, I thought the evolving key was a cool idea.
With the wings?
Yes.
Or you just
It was
kept putting
neat.
the
Like,
wings-
it's like, oh, here's the 2
Well,
wing,
did you
4
notice
wing,
the-
and the
4
unborn child
unborn
in it or
baby
whatever.
wing.
Did you notice the bottom? Every time you put another piece on it, it was adding another socket on the actual key. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the key was like 2-pronged when you had the wings on it.
Yeah.
And then it was 3-pronged when you had the 4 wings, and then it was all around pronged when you had the 6. I thought
Yeah.
that was cool. I was like, that actually like
Makes sense.
aesthetically, because you're building onto the key and you're building onto the bottom that actually
Yeah.
goes into the what the fuck do they
The
call
actual
that?
lock.
Yeah, into the actual
The
lock.
keyhole? The
keyhole,
hole.
yeah.
Yeah, put it in the hole,
Like
Clark.
I thought that was actually interesting, instead of being like, oh, I have like 700 keys to the village. Like,
I mean, you did have a lot. And
Yeah.
they
Did
didn't
have a
do
lot.
the normal Resident Evil thing. You no longer need this key. Do you want to toss it? That's been a staple for a long
Yeah.
time.
yeah,
in
it
Resident
was
Evil
like,
games.
oh, you're done with this? It's gone.
Yeah, but real quick, since we're on puzzles, real quick, a new add-on that I haven't seen in a game before, but they did throw those little ball puzzles in.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
the labyrinths.
yeah.
I liked it, and I thought the physics were pretty decent with those.
That was
as
fun.
well.
yeah, those were cool.
It's a nice addition.
I got all 4 of them.
Same.
yeah.
I knew
Same.
where the 4th was. I knew how to do the 4th one, but I was like, I'm going to the end of the game.
Yeah,
that's fair.
You,
Yeah,
were,
yeah.
you were
We're-
crunching a little bit. but
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that
It's
that
it's
worked
the same
out.
prize as all the other ones.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
just
money.
Yeah.
It's just money.
Yeah. But no,
And you
that,
probably knew that by that point. You're like, yeah, I'm good.
and that's something that I did find fun about the treasure, because you can grab like a couple things and just sell it off to, grab some lay. And then there were some that you could just wait and actually build
the
up the
combinable
treasure.
ones?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you combine it. So it's like, oh, well, you have a necklace with 2 openings. It's worth
Put my penis
1,200
through
lei.
both of them.
Yeah, and then it's like you find one treasure. Oh, it can be combined. All right. Well, you're looking at about like 20,000 lei now. Okay,
Yo, that-
you wait till the end, and then it's like 50, 60,000 lei.
Oh,
I'm like,
this is Dimitrescu's necklace.
yeah.
Turns out it's
I
with
won't
the
go
2
for
rubies,
that.
and it's worth 70,000.
I never felt like I was pressed to sell it early, though, especially when some of these things are dropping. Like, oh, this thing's 150,000, and then this like 3 combo thing is like a third of that. Like,
Yet, if it said combinable, then I'm like,
I didn't
I'm
sell it.
gonna wait.
Yeah.
and that was something that I did appreciate about the game, where it
in a pinch,
peaked.
you could sell it if you really needed the cash for something. You could, but if not, it's worth to hold on and stuff like that.
We were talking about this last night. We were talking about like completion times. So I
Yeah.
just want to bring that up so we address that, because what Steam says and what the game says are entirely different.
Well, the
Steam counts pause time and the game does not.
Okay.
yes, and
Well-
also the game does not count minutes watching videos as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well-
anytime you're sitting in a shop, it doesn't count. Anytime you're in your menu, it doesn't count.
Right.
Well,
It only counts walking around.
Well, I must have been paused a lot because Steam had twice the amount of what the game said that I
Damn.
had.
That sounds about right.
Yet Steam had 21, 22 hours.
Maybe it doesn't count puzzles then either.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
either way,
Interesting.
like, when I look at it, it's like my actual gameplay was 10 hours and 4 minutes.
My game save time was I think 7 hours and 6 minutes.
Mine was 9 hours and 10 minutes.
I
Didn't pay attention. Got it.
yeah.
God damn it, Harry.
I think it was like 15-ish.
Thought of something while Steve was talking. I just want to, before I forget, did you guys kill or collect the goats?
I collected quite a few of them.
Okay.
I didn't touch one.
I didn't touch one either. And I was really hoping there was an achievement for that.
There
Because it
is-
tells you not to.
I
If you
did. I
do-
got most of them.
Yeah, no, it says in the beginning, like, it's like, oh, don't touch the goats, it's bad luck. There is an achievement for getting all the goats.
Yeah, I know. But there's not an achievement for getting none.
Right. Well, that'd
Yeah.
be too easy. We just beat the game.
Right. But
Okay.
but you could accidentally really fuck that up too. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because like literally the first
So it's like, it kind
the
of gives
first
like
time
the,
you see
the
one,
opposite.
it's like
yeah.
don't do this because like it'll upset her. And I was like, oh okay. And
All right, I won't do that.
They
And
should
then
have made
after
it.
that,
They
if
should
you
have made
don't-
it a gold multiplier with the Duke, like for
It would've been
however
cool.
many you get 10% more for your selling.
Well, not 10% because there's more than 10 goats, but
Well, yeah, but
a few percent.
It's like
Yeah.
30 goats.
is there that many?
Yeah,
there
there's a
is.
lot of
There's
goats.
hidden ones, dude. In the factory, there's ones where you have to scope in on a rifle and find them.
There's one where you're doing the elevator with the Duke. There's a goat that hides within the elevator
As it's
well.
moving?
Yeah.
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 There was one in the butcher room, and I heard it, and I was looking for like the longest time, and I was like, I have to move on.
I have to move on, goat.
I have to go, goat. I'm sorry, goat.
just hear the clicking of it rocking back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah.
You're like,
no,
The,
say it.
just real quick, I don't want to harp on it too much, but the Heisenberg fight was wildly different than the rest of the game.
Yes, the
Yeah.
cart, the death cart.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I thought you would have to balance between blocking and shooting. I didn't know you could just block the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, that was the first thing I tried.
I'm sorry, what? You use block? I just strafed
You could hold the
entire
chainsaw up while shooting.
Yeah, you're invincible.
And anytime he hits you, it's just it blocks it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
where they're
Yeah.
like, oh, last minute, you just kind of throw things in, like none of that.
No, it's not last minute. You can just sit there with it cranked.
Yeah, no, I
Okay,
figured that
'cause-
out even before I left the room.
I did the complete opposite, and I just kept moving back and forth, and it was like, oh, I'm coming for it, or I'm going to keep going. Oh, you missed me.
Yeah, no, I didn't even really try
I'll
and
go
strafe
back.
because I could see. I was like, oh, I'll block. And
was-
the first time he hit me, he moved me far enough to the side that I was like, oh, I wouldn't have even been able to strafe that
Get
far.
the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It was super cheesy.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
I thought that fight was kind of fun. It was just dumb. It was real stupid.
Oh,
But I just thought it
crawling
was
through fucking midair metal tornado back to the
back to the
cart.
Yeah, like it's just stupid. Like it's the stupid action stuff that like just randomly in Resident Evil. I think every single Resident Evil game has one action sequence like that where you're just like, this is stupid, but I love it.
The Miranda one was dumb too. You could change your weapon, and you had infinite ammo.
Oh, when you're when you're fighting her.
When you're at
Yeah.
the end, when you're killing Miranda, and you like have to like it's like
Oh, you
press
gotta get
R2
that
to
one
shoot
shot.
or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You could change your weapon.
I had the Magnum out. I was like,
It just lets you keep firing without reloading.
I
Oh,
just
yeah.
shotgun the whole way. I mean, it didn't matter. It's like, oh, just keep firing. And like, okay, I'm going to hit this
Yeah.
button.
It was pretty funny.
so, all right. Let's howl at the moon into graphics.
Graphics.
All right, well, I played on PC. It looked good to me. It was very...
Started getting that snowy feature back.
That's why he didn't play on PlayStation.
Don't worry, Steve. There is a lot of snow in this game.
Let's shake hands. I'm not going to break your entire wrist just from you saying that.
I'll just pour some water on it, put it back on.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it looked good. Creepy as fuck. I mean, I'll keep going back to Benevito's house in the basement. That fucking baby just scared the shit out of me. I mean, it's like the graphics look good, but that was still like the most terrifying experience that I've had over the past couple of years, and that they nailed it between just like the what's on the table, the lighting. The lighting was great. I think that really solidified like the ambiance of what they're going for. It's like they did well.
Flashlights being pointed straight at the floor.
Yeah.
You're walking down hallways.
It's like I
point the flashlight where I'm aiming, please. And they're like, nah.
Look up, goddammit.
The floor. That was kind of frustrating, but
Ethan?
like it added to the terror, though. I mean, like, like I think you shared a meme about it, Harry. Like, who actually sets their like contrast ratio so you can't see the symbol? No one does.
I always leave mine at default.
Yeah, I let it like that. Honestly,
I usually click mine once.
Just give yourself that little edge.
Just a little. It didn't
edge.
matter. It didn't matter.
No, it made
Save
the
some
baby
time.
worse.
Yeah, save some time on movement so you can see better. So you can spend more time fumbling around with his briefcase.
Yeah,
He'll
probably.
adjust those settings, but not any of the others.
I mean, they forced me into it.
I mean, they did flash all of the settings in front of you before you started the game, too.
Not all of them.
Hey, you want this?
The,
You want
the
this?
auto
Oh
assist
God!
and the lock on were both on there.
I don't remember.
Whatever.
No, I did have to bump up the lighting towards the end of the game though, because there was some parts.
Some of it was fucking dark.
Yeah, it was stupid
like,
dark.
And I'm glad I did because of the spots where like you're literally pointing the flashlight at the ground, and I'm like, this isn't even fucking helpful. I'm just walking in this pitch black.
Yeah.
I gotta say, though, the game looks fucking gorgeous. I had no qualms about it. I thought the design of everything was like incredible. I think they nailed the different genres that they were trying to do, kind of like the like mucusy jaws of Moreau to like Heisenberg's very industrial factory and like his like robot fucking clones that were obviously weirdly German.
I thought he was a werewolf, just for the record.
Heisenberg?
I thought he was going to transform.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be. I thought he was part of like the werewolf clan.
Well, he was Magneto from the very fucking beginning. It's like, I got metal pieces.
The werewolves were his.
Like he controlled him. He controlled them somehow without any type of ties of how he controlled the Lycans.
I think it was because Urinal was his second in command.
Yeah, just like pissing
Heisenberg.
over everybody.
But so anyway, like I was saying, like, and then like there's like the really classic creepy horror of the dollhouse, and then we have like the gothic horror of the castle, and then just the really downtrodden, like they just nail the aesthetic in every single one of these spots, and I think it just makes for an absolutely brilliant game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't have many thoughts graphically. I don't think there's anything you can hold it up on. I still think it's weird in modern day of finding this area, but
What?
that's a story thing.
Yeah, the story of like feel like you went back 300 years in time.
Yeah.
No, there's a weird crossover, but at the same time,
because some of the townspeople had firearms too. And honestly, I thought we were going to spend more time in that, like how you rescue the farmer or whatnot, and you go into that house.
Yeah,
in Eliza's house.
I thought that was going to be more than like 5 minutes.
nope,
He gets murdered.
Immediately. Yeah, no, I know, but like everybody in the house does immediately. Like I thought there was going to be.
Oh, I thought this was going to be the village.
I thought there was going to be a little bit of story development here. Hey, we need some fetch quests done for these people.
Well, then you go
like,
to the Luisa's house.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No, the farmer with the shotgun is.
Oh
when you
yeah,
get
no,
ambushed.
fuck that guy. I knew he was gonna get eaten right away. I was talking about
Herschel.
Louisa's
Oh, yeah.
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Fucking
Yeah,
do
I
it.
mean, if
Okay.
we're talking about graphics, are we going to talk about Tall Lady?
Oh yeah, Steve got them big titties on the brain.
Not just big
go ahead.
titties.
Go ahead,
She's
It's big everything.
She's proportionate.
You'll
I
be
mean,
fucking
she,
swimming in that shit, Steve. You ain't pleasing her.
I can try, Joe.
God. Fucking Jesus Christ! Get a fire extinguisher.
Just because you have
to be clear,
a
he
just
would
because
please
you
a
have a
regular-sized
rowboat,
woman.
Joe, doesn't mean I can't take it on a cruise.
There were no rowboats, but there was a motorboat.
Oh, there's definitely a motorboat.
Steve's definitely thinking about motorboats right now.
Yeah, please pick me up. Please.
All right. Anyway, let's get into sound.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Now.
So the sound of me motorboating these titties.
Audio.
I thought the sound direction was okay. Like I thought the voice acting was all right.
I was disappointed by Ethan. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, he sounds really whiny. I didn't play a lot of
He
7.
didn't talk a lot.
No, he talked, but he just. He
Why
was
is everyone always dying on me?
He
Like,
just.
yeah.
Did you go like
just
looking?
like, was John
Why
Travolta in this game?
Why is everybody dying, Sandy? You're like in a pile of blood.
I was
But
confused by him too, because sometimes I would have the subtitles come up for stuff that he would say,
Yeah.
but he wouldn't say it.
yeah.
And I was like, and then like, but it was like a few times, and I was like, okay, like near the beginning, and I was like, oh, does he just not actually talk? Is this like inner monologue? And then like it would happen intermittently a little bit later, and I was like, I don't know what's happening.
He was like really whispery. He's like, Rose. It's like I couldn't
Yeah.
get into it. Not with him.
I think I was most disappointed with Heisenberg.
Heisenberg's was ridiculous.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like I thought
she
it was
nailed
like
it.
Officer Dangle
No,
from like Reno 911 for a little bit there. Let me tell you about this thing real quick.
Yeah.
Did you know it was almost like a cross between like a terrible sitcom and
game
like
show
a
host?
game show host? Yes,
Yeah.
that's
I
it.
thought that's what he was going for, and I thought they fucking nailed it.
I think there was something about the pitch of his voice that was bothering me.
And I've looked at the guy's other work. Like he does okay, but this was not the best delivery.
The fucking goats. We mentioned it already. The fucking creaking was constant.
Yeah.
Like if you did like
the creaking is constant. There is no escape.
basically. You know, because like for like the first quarter of the game, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna kill these goats, and then I was like, okay, these are just collectibles, but I was like, I'm just gonna roll with it now though. But at some points, I was like, this is pretty annoying. Like, because like some areas there would just be quite a few of them, and it would just be like creaking like constantly, and I was like, this is just distracting now.
No, I want to say for sound, like the ambiance of when you're walking through like some of the houses or some of the
creaking and
areas,
shit?
it was scary as shit. Like I
Yep.
heard things and I'm like, was that my front door or something else?
Oh, there was a lot of
God,
times
I'm
where I
being
took my headset
assaulted.
off and I
Yeah,
was like,
I had to make sure like
Okay.
this wasn't happening outside of like the game. There were several points where
Oh God, I'm in danger.
yeah, no,
The directional
honestly,
sound was really good.
It was.
it sounded like that, and it's like I got some new headphones which are like a little more precise, and the fucking difference that makes.
I think we should at least mention as a group about the music. I'm not trying to speak for the group. I was just saying I didn't notice much.
Yeah,
music in this
yeah,
game.
I don't think it was I don't think it was bad or good. If there wasn't much.
I was gonna say I can't
Generic.
remember a single moment
Yeah.
with music.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like generic
The end
Resident
credits,
Evil
the end credits
music.
had
Yeah,
some
I
music.
skipped it.
Maybe.
Probably should have listened to it. You know what? I'm sorry. One moment in the game that I do think was a standout moment in this game, and I'm sorry, it's out of category. I apologize.
I know where this is going.
The story, like
Pop-up book.
yeah, the pop-up book story.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool sequence. The art style,
Yeah.
very Tim Burton.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. One second.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's get into final
Let's
thoughts.
juggle some baby parts.
Let's not do that.
Juggle them baby parts. I
the
got a
arm.
head. You
call
got
the
a
arms.
leg.
Let's put some masks into statues and get into final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Steve, final thoughts.
I feel like this was a good step back into the Resident Evil series. There were a couple times that I felt like I missed out, of like a backstory, but really I feel like I did not miss out on much after talking tonight. So it made me anxious. It made me feel things, and I usually don't like playing these type of games, but like halfway through, I was all in. I was balls deep. So I appreciated this coming to the table.
Joe?
Oh man, this game. I kind of enjoyed the game. I think it having the Resident Evil name set expectations before I even started it of certain things I was expecting or what I was looking for in a game, and it hit none of that for me. If, in my opinion, if this was a standalone or new IP, I wouldn't have gone in with those expectations, and I probably would have enjoyed it more because I would have had no, premeditated anything going into it. Not the best word for it, but that was the word I came up with.
Preconceived notions.
Sure. So it's like I want to like review this game as a new IP, but I feel like I can't. So
Fair.
like I have to review it as a Resident Evil game because that's what it is. There were certain moments I really enjoyed. There were certain moments that I was just like, okay, I'm kind of done. Like, let's just keep it moving. So I don't know. I'm really torn on this game. To what it really comes down to.
I'll go. You can bring up the rear, Harry.
Yeah, bring up that rear, Harry.
It does have to stand against the other Resident Evils, so that always is going to bring criticism and things like that. Me personally, I've always looked at them in the trilogy format, so I try to just judge it based off of 7, not like 4, 5, and 6, or 1, 2, and 3, because nothing compares to 1, 2, and 3 that's ever come after the Resident Evil series. So, but to be fair to this game, I only based off of my limited experience with 7 and just the game as a whole. So, I do think this is a fantastic entry for just a standalone game in general, but also as a Resident Evil one, it makes me really look forward to the next one to see where they're going to go from here and if it's going to be directly related or not. Happy bows.
All right, time for the rear.
The rear boost.
I kind of mirror a lot of the same thoughts.
All right, let's move into that.
Same thoughts as who?
Mainly you, Joe. Honestly, you kind of stole a lot of the words right out of my mouth that I had. Well, a little less of a premeditated thoughts going into this. Like I knew kind of to expect that this is in like the trilogy format that you're talking about, but it's still it really hits a core of me that really pisses me off about how far this franchise has strayed from its roots, and it really does tick me off. And Capcom is not the only company that's guilty of this. Like Square Enix is guilty of it. I mean, there's other ones out there, but
Yeah.
like,
There's not a lot of franchises that are going on for 8 or 9 games, though.
Right,
So,
but-
like,
yeah, but okay. So Capcom, they also released the Devil May Cry games. They do new things, but yet the core concept is consistent. So I
Okay,
know
sure.
if I pick up a Devil May Cry game, I know what I'm getting into without any question. Resident Evil, not the case.
yeah, no.
Like, if you don't know
Yeah.
anything about a particular Resident Evil game going into it, it could really throw off your expectations.
Yeah.
Like this game is vastly different than some of the originals in the series. And like I was saying before, I almost consider it a different genre. That's to be debated, but it's like if Call of Duty was turned into an MMO now.
Careful now.
So here's the thing.
Like that's not
Yeah,
what
no,
you would
I-
expect.
no, that's-
Because you're like,
hold
oh,
on.
this is
I have a
deathmatch.
counter to that.
Well, no.
Yeah, I'm just,
We'll keep going, Harry.
like,
and
I
then
thought this was
we'll-
my final
we'll
thought.
come back. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
The only thing that I will say about that specifically is things like Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the exact same game every single year with a different
okay,
skin.
the bad example. I was just,
I'm
I was just
saying
trying to make a
that's-
point.
That's just what happens to games that are like that.
Well, okay, let me
don't
be a little bit
evolve.
more
Right.
extreme with it.
Sure.
If,
Yeah.
if Call of Duty was now a platformer, okay, maybe that's too extreme.
That's
now.
too extreme.
But like,
I get what you're saying.
think we're
Yeah.
picking up what you're
Like,
putting
you
down.
play, like, the first couple in a series, and you're like, oh, this is sweet. And then they're like, okay, totally... Like when Sonic became a 3D platformer, like it was like, okay, hold on, what's happening here? This isn't the same game anymore.
Then here's Knuckles. What the fuck are you talking about?
like what I'm I think getting at is Capcom's. They're pussies. They're too afraid to call it a new IP.
Well-
They're trying to just milk this Resident Evil name
Because
and
they know people will buy
they're
it.
doing
Yeah.
a disservice to the name because of doing so.
they should call it.
The trials of Ethan. I don't care. Just fucking call it something else. That's
but something different, so it's not.
or even if they would have just cut off the Resident Evil The Village and just call it The Village, like legit, that's fine. Do it, whatever. Like you know what I mean? Like this does feel like an almost different IP, and they sprinkle in these elements from the early games so that they can
Call it Resident
It's like
Evil.
it's like the bare minimum so that they can call it a
Hey,
Resident Evil
look,
game.
there's an umbrella symbol in this game. We can call it Resident Evil and
Yeah.
be done.
I think
Now,
I
having-
think they're too afraid to just name it a spiritual successor as opposed to something like that. But
let
also,
it
when
go.
they stop making Resident Evil games, they're going to be done making Resident Evil games because Capcom doesn't usually revive that kind of stuff. So it's one of those things.
Isn't
like
Capcom also the people that make Street Fighter?
What do you
though?
mean they don't
Yeah.
revive that stuff? They've done remakes of like the entire
yeah,
series
because
so
they,
far.
because they still have their entire Resident Evil team.
Having said all of that,
Yes.
if this was a standalone, there were a lot of elements I did enjoy, and I do like the action aspect of it. I can't give the story a pass because I think it's kind of shit. But like the action elements, the environments, I did enjoy exploring them. And I do like that arcadey feel to this. Like I didn't feel it was particularly too slow paced at any point.
Unless you're climbing a ladder.
Okay. And I think when they were going for the horror elements, they leaned into them very hard, and I think it was a success
Yeah.
with that. So, again, it's
Yeah.
a weird. Like I don't hate this game. I don't know if I love this game either. It's this weird.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is internal conflicts because of the Resident Evil name stamped on it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's also the
All right.
the Resident Evil series and you. So there's a standard.
I'm
to
sure
be
I'm not
held.
the only one out there that
No.
feels that way.
I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're not.
All right, let's struggle to drop a mine from our inventory and get into the score.
The score.
Joe, what's your score?
I think I'm gonna give this like a 60. The story was just like all over the fucking place. There were certain, like I said, certain moments I loved, certain moments that I was really a drag. The gameplay was very similar, like certain elements I liked, certain elements I didn't like. The fact that it was a Resident Evil game and completely different than anything I've ever played before is something that I didn't like.
Yeah, we already
So-
did Final Thoughts, right, Joe?
I'm going to give it a 60.
Fine. You see your piece, man.
Steve, go ahead.
This is going to get a B- from me. Gameplay was fun. Story. Final Thoughts. Oh yeah. Cool. Yeah, we just did Final
Harry, go
Fight.
ahead.
Fuck you. No, fuck you. Yeah, gameplay
Harry,
was
go ahead.
fun, but could have used a little more like the solidified story. So fuck you guys. I'll see you in the parking lot. I'll wait for you.
There's no parking lot. It's on the street.
So I'm going to give this a 5.0. And I kind of wanted to talk about like why I wanted to give it that score. So back in story
He's doing this
to make fun of you
make fun of
fuckers.
both of you.
Cool. You're gonna die tonight.
Yeah. It ties with Super Mario 64. Very similar game.
All right. Jesus Christ.
Hey, another game where you went in with expectations. Oh my God, this is a great game. And then they totally changed it.
Who would want to talk about that?
Anyways, this isn't Final Thoughts.
All right, yeah, I think
What's your score, Clark?
I'm trying.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this game's something to pick up on sale. That's about where it's at. I think $20 is good for it.
You changing your scoring method, or are you going $20, or are you going sale?
Sale, and
This
I
isn't
always
Final Thoughts.
I sale. It's you baited me into. Oh, you baited me into your trap. Oh my God! Got him!
Got you!
Fucking got him.
What a bitch.
Make him look like a dick.
So anyway, yeah, that's it for Resident Evil Village. Tune in 2 weeks for our retrospective of
GameCube.
The cube.
You're really far away from your mic.
The cube.
The cube!
What's up, Cubey?
Stay safe.
Love you guys.
Hey, fucking stay sexy.
Stay lovely.
I think I need to get more aggressive with it.
This isn't Final Thoughts.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us on social media and all streaming platforms at Superfun Podcast for more episodes. If you enjoyed the show, tell a friend about us and consider becoming a Patreon member for more exclusive content.